KKCP. I'm Pedro Gonzalez.
And I'm Christy Choi.
Lately, we've been looking into significant people in this world.
Our reporter, Catherine Ye, has been on the mission to gather as much information on this as possible. Here, she's reporting from the White House.
Thank you, Christy. And yes, we have been looking into significant people from this world. Apparently, we have made it just in time to listen to the speech of our former USA president here, George Washington. As you may know, George Washington was the first to come up with the idea of having presidents and became the first one himself.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for all the support that I've had from my people, most of all, my family. I didn't like the idea of running for president, but when I looked at it again, I thought that would be the right job for me. A king in charge isn't the best idea. I thought, and I said, that we need a different kind of government, perhaps a president. We must stay united as U.S.
Mr. Washington, over here. What did you think made the people to vote and give their respect to you?
Well, after that I heard that they were looking for a new general of the army. I thought that, well, I would be the best man for the job. That's when I started getting attention and people started to notice me. A few years have gone by and my people started coming closer to me and insisted that I would become their new leader.
I'm Clara Ho, reporting from the White House. Back to the headquarters.
Thank you, Clara. As you may know, Mr. Washington is our former president.
Now we'll head back to the White House and visit our current president, Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt was one of the most admired people in the 20th century, being the wife of a USA President, Franklin Roosevelt. She was also in charge of the women's rights, and because of her, females now have equal rights as to males.
Mrs. Roosevelt, it is such an honor having you as our star guest on KKCP News for today.
No, don't thank me. My assistant seemed to have squeezed this interview in my schedule.
Okay, on to reality. Mrs. Roosevelt, how did you think you've influenced others?
I've influenced other people because I worked really hard as a child being an orphan and only living with my grandma. I worked really hard even in my childhood. I worked even harder when I grew older because I was the first lady and the leader for the women's rights. I influenced people to focus on their work and also made more people to be patient with what they do. I have learned long ago to possess my soul in patience and accept the inevitable.
Thank you, Mrs. Roosevelt. We appreciate your time. Back to the headquarters.
Thank you, Catherine and Clara. So just to sum up, many of these successful leaders have used their power that affects others in a positive way.
This is all we have for today, and stay tuned on KKCP. Good night.